What if your identity was always in your hands, an identity you can trust, that others can trust? What if this digital identity was always at your fingertips, and people could verify your identity in a few simple steps? What if you were in control of your data and how it's shared with others? What if this personal, portable identity helped you to learn, work, and live? What if showing who you are was as easy as saying, I am?
I am Yosef.
Across the globe, the pieces are coming together to make this happen. Accenture, Microsoft, and Avanade have teamed up to create the prototype you've seen in action. It's a first step towards a digital identity solution for all. To achieve this, we need motivated, passionate people and organizations to join us. So we invite you to come together, collaborate, and realize the vision of ID 2020.
Do you think the world reaction to the coronavirus is preparing the way for the Antichrist? Will there be a mandatory vaccine that will include a microchip? Could this be the mark of the beast? To be sure, I'm not a friend of globalism, and I certainly am not keen on the government having the right to insert chips in our bodies. But to be perfectly clear and candid, I am not thinking much about the Antichrist or the mark of the beast. There are far more pressing and practical issues that demand my and our attention, like loving God and loving our neighbors and being decent human beings and sharing faith and walking in moral purity and keeping our marriages healthy and spreading quality time with our kids. Everyday stuff like that. I mean, it may not be as exciting as studying end times prophecy. It may not be as exotic as the visions of the book of Revelation, but on a daily basis, all this is far more relevant than speculation about the mark of the beast. And for those not familiar with some of these concepts, they come from the book of Revelation, which speaks of a Satan-empowered world leader, described as a seven-headed beast wearing 10 crowns on its head. This end-times world leader, also called the Antichrist, will be worshipped by all whose names have not been written in the book of the life of the Lamb, who was slain from the foundation of the world, Revelations 13:8. Again, for those not familiar with this imagery, the Lamb refers to Jesus. Revelation also describes another demonic figure, who causes all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand or on their forehead, so that no one may buy or sell, except he who has the mark of the name of the beast or the number of his name, Revelations 13:16-17. This all sounds frightfully serious, which is why many Christians ask, what exactly is the mark? And are we unwittingly paving the way towards a one-world government? In other words, towards an Antichrist system? There are several problems with this line of thinking, and though to repeat, I am no friend of globalism. First Revelation belongs to the genre of apocalyptic, which describes world events in visionary terms that are not meant to be taken literally, unless you actually believe that the Antichrist will be a seven-headed human being who looks like a leopard and has feet like a bear and a mouth like a lion. See Revelations 13:2. To rightly understand Revelation, we need to rightly understand its literary genre. Perhaps one day there will be a mark put on the right hand and on the forehead, or perhaps this is a symbol of something else. In my view, it is something else that should have our attention, and I'll explain this a little bit more later. While Revelation does describe future events, including the Lord's return, the final judgment, and the new heavens and new earth, it is also relevant to every generation of readers. So this would especially be true for the first recipients of the book more than 1900 years ago. What did Revelation mean to them? As many commentators have pointed out, these early Christian readers would have likely seen the beast as a figure in their day, namely the tyrannical Roman emperor. It was he who demanded to be worshipped as a god under penalty of death, and it was he who often brutally persecuted the Christians. So the first readers of Revelation would not have been as concerned with the future, theoretical antichrists as they were with the very real antichrist before them. You see, in their minds, today's very present evil was more than enough to deal with. Tomorrow's prophesied evil could wait until then. As for the reference to the mark of the beast, Professor G.K. Bale, He notes it enforces the metaphorical idea that the mark alludes to the state political and economic stamp of approval, given only those who go along with its religious demands. In other words, you bow to the godless demands of your state and you don't get to enjoy the benefits of the state. The ultimate focus is on the defecation of the secular government at all points that must be resisted. For us as followers of Jesus in any age, that is where the rubber meets the road. Will we compromise our convictions for the sake of our convenience? Will we refuse to take stand for what is right because of the negative consequences? Or will we give to Caesar what belongs to God? Again, it could be that one day there will be a literal mark demanded by the Antichrist himself. And perhaps at that time, those who refuse to receive that mark will pay with their own lives. But around the world, even as I speak, Christians are refusing to take the mark in other ways. In Nigeria, they are refusing to convert to Islam. As a result, they are quite literally losing their heads over their faith. In China, they are refusing to conform to the communist state's godless demands. This forces them to go underground with their faith and often results in prison and even torture. In America, we can refuse to take the mark, figuratively speaking, when we say no to pornographic sex ed curricula for our children, or when we hold to our religious convictions, even when it costs us our jobs. It can even happen at the most basic level, when a Christian high school student takes a pro-life stance, while the rest of her or his classmates and teachers ridicule him. This is where our focus needs to be, on everyday obedience to the Lord and His commission. Folks, if we obey in the here and now, tomorrow will take care of itself. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Matthew 6:34. It's the 34th and final verse of the 6th chapter of the Gospel of Matthew in the New Testament, and is a part of the Sermon on the Mount. So, my friends, rather than wondering about the future Antichrist and the mark of the beast, be sure not to sell your soul for godless systems today. As followers of Jesus, we bow one knee to one Lord and one Lord only. And that's my message for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. Before I end today, I want to reach out to each and every one of you and ask you for a personal favor. My son, Colton, Kohlton, he is 16 years old, and he does watch my channel from time to time. He's in a very dark place, and that's the best I can put it, without going into too much detail. So I'm going to ask you for your prayers, and pray in my channel, pray in the comments. He watches. I ask that you lift him up, lift him out of the darkness that he's in, and Jesus, please wrap your arms around him, show him that your light is true. And if you guys can just pray for him and help me with this. He needs that village, and he needs it today. And on a side note, a lighter note, our merch channel has been completely revamped. So we have a lot of really neat design merchandise. It is very high quality, and everything is delivering on schedule. So check that out in the links below. If you wish to donate, those are in the links below as well. So until next time, God bless you and your families. Thank you.